Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is that time again. It's Wednesday evening. Hey, I'm Dr. Brandye. Good to see you guys. Welcome back. Um, this is the Life, Love, Libido show. How you guys doing? I am so excited to be here. Hey, Tammy, how are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope you and Sarah get to enjoy some of this and hang out for a little bit. Great to see you. I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. I know we saw each other the other night, but that just solidified, I miss you. We got to hang out again, go have some coffee. But welcome. This is the Life, Love, Libido show. I am Dr. Brandye, board certified OBGYN and women's libido coach, and I teach women how to feel good in and out of the bedroom and how to get their sexy back. So this week has been interesting. I have had quite a few opportunities to talk to women about sex and how that impacts their lives in general, and also how that impacts their lives in the bedroom, their intimate relationships as well. So I got to talk to quite a few women this week, and it was very, very fun. I always like to talk about it. I don't know. I like to talk about sex. I don't know if that makes me weird, but I do. And I like to give women hope that there is a better way, and there is a place and a space for you to have those conversations, and also to be able to express yourself. So I was very, very happy to be able to have those conversations this week, over the last couple days. Hey, Dr. Ferlandi, thanks for joining. So this week has been interesting. I've been doing a lot of work, and I have some things that are coming down the pipeline that I'm really, really excited about, and I can't wait to share them with you. I'm hoping that everything will be ready to go next week. So by the time we have our broadcast next week, I'm hoping that all the things that I have in place that I've been working on for these past few weeks will all come to fruition, and you guys will get to reap the benefit of what's coming next. Okay, so stay tuned for that. But tonight I wanted to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and it has to do with mindset. And specifically, it has to do with how we talk to ourselves. Just how we talk to ourselves. So in general, we tend to speak to other people much more tactfully and nicely than we speak to ourselves. In case in point, I was working on, or attempting to work on, a project, and I was having some trouble with getting started, and in my head it just started kind of this tape roll, like you're always procrastinating. Whenever you have something to do, you never get it done, and just this whole reel of kind of negative talk that was going through my head. And the good thing is that I recognized that it was happening. And then I was able to interrupt those thoughts and be able to redirect those thoughts so that I could then proceed with what I was doing and get my work done. And I realized that we do all have kind of this inner dialogue that's going, like we may be talking to other people, but we also have some things going on in our heads, and things that are being said. And sometimes we recognize it. Sometimes we know that that's what's happening. But a lot of times we don't. And it's just this subconscious loop of negative things that are going through your mind. And so tonight I kind of wanted to talk about that, because It impacts everything that you do, all of the things that you show up in and want to do, and your desires and your goals. You have to be mindful of the things that you're telling yourself. And so the first point that I wanted to talk to you about has to do with the power of positive words. Now, there is a book that I have on my shelf here that is by Masaru Emoto. And this book is called Love Thyself. And in this book, there are pictures of water crystals. And Masaru did some experiments where he took different jars of water. And some of the jars he had people speak loving, positive words over them. And some of the jars he had people speak negative, mean, all kinds of just bad things over them. And then he was able to look at the crystals of the water under a microscope. And when he did that, what he found was that for the water that received the positive energy, the positive words, and positive affirmations, those drops actually made very coherent, regular patterns, and they were very beautiful and structured. And the water that was spoken to harshly and meanly and using just more negative tones and negative energy actually tended to be more disorganized and did not exhibit any coherent patterns. And so with that, the reason that I bring that up is because words have power. Words are energy. And our bodies are made up of so much water. So if we are feeding it negativity and negative energy, things may not be working the way that we need them to work because it's not coherent. It's not in an excellent pattern because we're not giving that positive energy. So then when you're thinking those negative thoughts, I want you to remember the power of your words and what can happen just from the power of those words. So there's a couple of good images that are here, and they're just very coherent versus some of the negative things. Let me see if I can find some of those. Nope. They're all beautiful patterns in here. They're all lovely. They remind me of Christmas too. All the crystals, they remind me of Christmas. Oh wait, here's one that's kind of not so great. This one was spoken over the word 666, or the number 666 were spoken over that. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk with you about. The other thing that I wanted to talk with you about is that for those people who don't recognize or are not hearing kind of that inner dialogue or that inner voice, one way to be able to recognize it and notice it is to pause if you're in the midst of a challenge of something of some sort. Say you are trying to get a project done, or you are trying to maybe make a meal and it's not going the way that you think it should go. Pausing will sometimes, and slowing down will give you a chance to really examine what is happening in your brain and what thoughts you are thinking and what words you're telling yourself. So sometimes, and I've done this with my daughter a couple times, because she'll make a mistake on something, or she'll forget something and she'll be like, oh, I'm so stupid, or oh, I'm an idiot. And I'm like, no, you're not an idiot. You made a mistake, and you can fix it. But you're not stupid, and you're not an idiot. But if I allowed her to continue to say those things verbally, then I know she'll continue to say those things in her inner dialogue. And so I want to stop it right where it is, reinforce that, she is not those things. She's not those words. She's a wonderful, beautiful child, very intelligent young lady, very insightful young lady. And so just pouring into her that positivity, because I know and I see how that negative energy and those negative interactions that we have in our brains about ourselves can actually be a very big hindrance. So just pausing so that you are then able to hear what it is that you are speaking to yourself. Now, for my inner dialogue, I call her my inner mean girl, and her name is Victoria. And for her, I have started to be able to recognize when she's jumping in and giving her opinion. And there's a couple of strategies that I have for dealing with her and kind of disarming her. Because overall, that inner dialogue is a representation of your ego. And your ego generally is trying to keep you safe and prevent you from being hurt, embarrassed, or having anything happen that is untoward. That would be an untoward thing. And so one of the ways that I can disarm Victoria is to say to her, once I stop and recognize what is happening, is just to say to her, hey, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I hear you. I see you. And then I let it go. So that's one way. That works sometimes. Other times, there's just such a loud volume of thoughts that are going through my head that are not serving me one bit. And in those instances, I literally will say out loud, delete. And sometimes I'll have to say it multiple times, because you'll say delete and then it'll keep going, it'll keep going, it'll keep going. And so I'll be like, delete, 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 delete. Sometimes I have to literally stand up and be like, delete. This is not serving me. I'm not going to think these thoughts. Delete. So that's another strategy that you can use to just interrupt that thought train. So if you can interrupt that thought train, you can then pivot and introduce more positive thoughts. And you don't necessarily want to introduce positive thoughts that are not true. Sometimes we will say affirmations and things like that. And sometimes they don't work because they don't ring true for us. So, I can say, I am the world's top OBGYN. And I'm not there yet. But that is one of my aims. And so instead of saying I am the top OBGYN, which is not necessarily the case right now, I can say I am not that yet. And that still leaves the possibilities open so that it doesn't feel like it's a lie that you're telling yourself. So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight, is just that inner mindset, what you're telling yourself. It sometimes is helpful to identify your inner mean girl and give her a name, so you can be like, shut up, Victoria, when she's saying stuff that you just is not helpful. You can interrupt your patterns and definitely redirect your thoughts so that they are more positive. And by doing that, you are actually increasing your health, increasing the coherence in your body, and keeping all that water that's in your body flowing as it should, and not being stuck or in a disorganized pattern. All right. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys for joining. If you are of the sharing kind, go ahead and share this video. Sharing is caring. And also, if you yourself or you know a woman who would like more information about how to get in touch with their passions, their excitement, their desires so that they can feel good in and out of the bedroom, definitely share my info with them. If you can set up a free strategy session with me if you would like to discuss how we can help you get your sexy back. That strategy session can be scheduled at bit.ly /Dr. Brandye. So that's bit.ly /DrBrandye. All right, so thanks for joining. I'm Dr. Brandye, board certified OBGYN and women's libido coach, and I teach women how to feel good in and out of the bedroom and how to get their sexy back. I'm so glad we got to spend some time together this evening. I hope you enjoy the rest of this evening and the rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.